Hello, everyone. Super thrilled that you are joining us on today. I am super excited. Y'all know I say it all the time. I know I probably sound like a broken record, and I don't even care. I don't care because I love all of my guests. And today is no different. Just a teeny bit closer to my heart, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I love, love, love all of my guests. So I want to welcome today a special guest, someone I'm not even going to say a whole lot because listen, the tears can begin to flow, and I'm not going to do that today. At least I'm going to try not to. ShaNae, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to be on here and be in front of your audience, just to be with you, Karena. You know, I love it. I love it when we get together. It's something amazing about when we get together. So,
Amazing, amazing. I feel like it's fire. It is literally like I'm gonna just say this. I feel like it's holy fire that ignites some things in the air, and I'm just super thrilled about that. That it's like, oh my goodness, I can feel it. It's almost tangible. So I'm not gonna get started. I'm not gonna get started 'cause I can get into this. I can get into this. Calm me down. So, ShaNae, where in the world are you?
I currently live in St. Louis, Missouri. So, right in the Midwest. And I am here just, in this current space of loving the weather currently and loving all the things that are happening around me. So, I'm in St. Louis. I'm a
Awesome.
Midwest girl.
I love it. I have never been to St. Louis, but I keep saying that I do need to get out to the Midwest because for some reason I keep meeting folks that are in the Midwest, and I'm like, I might need to get out there. I'm on
It
the East Coast, so I might need to get out to the Midwest really
Come
soon.
on. Come
So what
on.
is the weather like? What are y'all seasons like? Like in the summertime, is it blazing hot? Or is it like, because listen, I'm of a certain age, so I have to prepare for certain things.
Absolutely. So we used to have real seasons. Now I think we're pretty much like everybody else where it can depend. The funny thing
Mhm.
about St. Louis is they're like, if you don't like the weather here, wait an hour, it'll change. Like we
Wow.
really could potentially have one season in a week or multiple seasons in a week. So it is right now we still get a winter, we still get some snow, we still get some ice. We still get a spring. We still get the summer. Now in the summer, it does get really hot. July and August, it's very hot. It's very humid here because we're right next to the river. And so it
Okay.
is very hot, but the fall is beautiful. One thing that I really like about St. Louis, and most people do, is we have a lot to do here and a lot of free things to do here. It's a very family city. So that's
Oh,
really nice things about St. Louis.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So you're really selling me on that. I'm gonna have to make a trip.
Come
Just gotta
on.
do it. Just gotta do it. So I want to find out, and listen, just in full transparency, you all, I know what ShaNae does. I know how she is making impact in the world, but I really wanted to be able to have this conversation because I really believe that what ShaNae is doing is so worthy to be shared with the world. So, ShaNae, tell us how you are loving on the world around you.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I feel like in this, where I am right now, in my space that I am right now, the way I'm loving on the world around me is I'm really wanting to help women, Christian women specifically, find their calling, find what God has called them to be. And I really want them to understand that because, one, I feel like it's important for us to know that we're daughters of the King, right? It's important for us to know who we were created from. And so, one of the things that I've seen in my lifetime over my journey is that when we're not confident in who we are or basic whose we are, then we can't really know who we are. And so that is where my journey is right now, is to really love on women, to really love on them where they are, and to really give them the confidence they need to have clarity in their life and move forward in who God has called them to be. So that's where I am right now. The other way that I feel like I'm loving on the world around me is I'm in this place of rest is productive. Okay.
Mm.
And I I feel like right now I have to be accountable to myself and to the women who I'm teaching, because it's important for me to be able to, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so it's important for me to rest and work. And so I am being intentional about what I'm doing as far as resting, but also that's a part of what I teach the women who I work with, is that we hold so many things, we carry so many things. We're very task oriented. We have all these things that we're trying to balance. And so it's important for us to rest too. That's
I
where I am.
love that.
Yeah.
I want to say this fun fact, little known fun fact. I actually wrote a book years ago, and it's called The Weapons of Our Warfare.
Mm.
And one of them is rest.
Mm. So good. So
Yes,
good. Yes.
it is literally a weapon of our warfare when we actually dial into that rest, when we rest in Him, when we
Mm.
rest naturally.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Honey,
Absolutely.
I'm not getting ready to get started because I can. I can, but I'm not. Because
Yes.
listen, I told y'all the ignition, it's like this igniting. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I want
Yes.
to find out, how did you, what prompted you? Now we know it was the Lord, we know it was the Holy Spirit, but how did you know that this was the direction that God was calling you to? Because I will say, again, in full transparency, the terms of, or the situation that I met you in was completely different, which was not bad or anything like that. It was just in the
Good.
business world. And
Absolutely.
so now seeing you in this space and providing this service, and it's such a heart-centered service. Oh my
Mm.
goodness. It is truly a heart-centered service. What really got you into this space? How did you get here?
I love this question. So, I actually had a conversation about my journey and where I was and how the things that I had been through were so impactful into my life. I have always been in a space where I've just not been like other people. I've been different. I've been set apart, right? And so I always felt like God was calling me to serve. He was calling me to pour into women. He was calling me to do that. I actually resisted it at first. I resisted it. I was like, no, this is not what I'm supposed to do. I feel like that's for someone else. And then he was like, no, this is where you are. And he took me through this journey. Before I could take anyone else through the journey, he had to take me through this journey. I had to go through it myself. And so as I walked through the things that I currently teach, I realized, okay, God, I understand you're prompting me to now use these things to move forward. And it was really about understanding who I was. And that's what the bottom line is. God took me to, I was in a very dark place, if I can be honest, very vulnerable, real quick. I was in a dark place. I wasn't confident in who I was. I was moving in a place of just distraction and not knowing where I was supposed to be. And God took me to, I was watching a movie and they talked about Ephesians 1 and 2. And in Ephesians 1 and 2, I found out, I'm chosen. That he died for me, that he lifted me up to be an heir of his. I found out who I truly was. And in that journey, it started to break things off me. It started to break the
Mm.
self-doubt. It started to break the overall not feeling worthy. It started to just make me move forward into who my God, okay, who my God had called me to be. And so from there, it was like, okay, you're already pouring into women. Now it's time to be very intentional about the steps you're using and how you're doing it, and making sure that I am the backbone of it all, that I am the one who is navigating it. This not me, God, right? And so that's how I got led into this position. I'll tell you, it was a kind of a fight, because I was like, no, this is not where I am. But he was like, yes, absolutely. I need you in this space. I need you to be here. So
And it's so amazing, because I know that so many women can resonate with that, especially the fighting piece. Let's be honest. Probably 99.9% of us have fought it, because
mm,
we're like, no, that's not me.
mm,
for whatever reason. Either we just didn't want to do it because we couldn't see ourselves in that space, because we didn't have the confidence to see ourselves in that space. Whatever the situation was, I mean, there's just so many different reasons. But one thing I just wanted to park at, that, oh my goodness, that you said was that my God, first you said that God called me, but then you said my God. My God, when you make it my God called me,
Mhm.
not just God called me, because that's just so broad, and
Mm,
that's just like a great overview. And we know that we're talking about God when we say
mm.
that, and that he's Abba, but or that he's God. But when you say my God, then that's when we say Abba Father has called us.
Yes.
That's when we begin to say, oh my goodness, this is mine. He is mine and I am his. And it's an intimate call.
Mhm.
Woo, oh my
I
goodness.
Yes, I call him by all his names. El Shaddai,
Yes,
the
yes,
nurturing God. Elohim, he's with us. Like Adonai, all the because it has to be an intimate relationship. That's how we get to the fruit of it all, right?
mhm,
It has to be a connection. Otherwise, he's just this floating head in the sky.
yeah,
There has to be something deeper than just the our Father in heaven prayer. It has to be
yeah,
something deeper than checking off the boxes of I did my quiet time, I had my rest, I did that. It has to be us to really have that intimate personal conversation and relationship with him, and that's where it has to start.
absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
And I really love that you are taking this really head on. And, we've had this conversation. I can see that God is taking you higher. He's elevating you. And so as you continue to grow in him, you're reaching back and grabbing the hand of other women that need to come forth as well. And that is so key and so vital in this day and time, because a lot of times people don't take that time to grab the hand and hold someone else and help walk them through that journey. So for the woman that's listening, that's saying, well, I would love to have something like that happen in my life. I would love to have someone like ShaNae in my life, but I just don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't see myself as being anything more than, or doing anything more than, not that they necessarily see themselves less than, but they just don't see more for them. What
Mm.
does that look like when they reach out to you?
So when they reach out to me, a lot of them are in the spaces of they don't have the clarity. They don't understand where they are. They don't understand what their purpose is, because that's the big piece. So I really speak to them. The first part is I affirm, because we have to remember we're daughters. We have to remember that we are royal priesthood. We have to remember that he has called us to be greater, that he wants abundantly more for us. Like, we have to really speak to what the word says about us, right? So the first part is just really affirming them and confirming them that they're in the right space, that they are who God has called them to be. And then the next piece is we really want to pull apart their journey. Like, where have you been? What has God called you to? What are your talents? What are your gifts? How are you using them? What is the pain that you've been through? Because your pain is part of your purpose too. It's part of understanding how you're going to navigate this world. And so then once we have that real understanding, then we can walk in it, right? Then we can do baby steps. We create the opportunity. One of my programs that is called Boldly Becoming, because we want you to walk boldly into who you are. The foundation of it is one, your relationship with God, right? Because that's the very core of it. Then we talk about your finances. We talk about your overall physical health, your mental health. We talk about your community and relationship. We talk about the whole woman. That's important. We need that in order to really navigate these pieces. We need that in order to really be able to be out here and move forward, because one part of us will do something and then the next part will need to like move in a circle. We're meant to be a creative circle, a full union. So it's important for us to really dive into the whole woman. And so from there, we really walk through how you can live these things out in every one of these areas. You know, your mental health being off, or your mental health, you being stressed out, or not setting boundaries. All those things play into your purpose and play into who you're called to be. Your finances, how do you navigate those? Are you using those towards stewardship? Are you using those to pour into your community? Are you using those in the way God has called you? And not, I'm someone who, I've been in the space where I've done things where I'm not used my finances the way that they were supposed to. I'm not tithe. And I know tithing is a big controversial issue, but I believe in it. I believe that something about pouring into my first fruit is helping restore the kingdom. God doesn't need my money, but it's a way of worship. So all those pieces, your community, your relationships, who are you connected to? Who is speaking life over you? All those things make a difference when we're talking about your purpose and walking in that, and really working on the woman as a whole. Those are things that are going to be foundational in order to get you to that next step. So the whole woman, and then creating the actual plan. Like, we there's so many times that we think about a vision and we work on it and we just start going, and we don't create that actual plan to walk through it. And then once we have the plan, having the accountability piece. Yes, accountability is ownership, but we need people that are standing in the gap for us. We need people that are going to pray over us, which is something I wholeheartedly believe. And I do pray over each and every woman that's in the program, coming to the program, or left the program. It's important for us to have people that are going to be fighters, that are going to be standing next to us, that are going to help us navigate through this world. So those are the things that I think are super important when we're talking about how, if you are a woman who is looking for your purpose, who is wanting to understand who God has called you to be, these foundational pieces. First, I would challenge you to get in the word and ask God to show you and show up for you. Then I would tell you to really take the journey of, where have you been? What are your gifts and talents? What has God called you to be? And then the final piece is create the plan, create the action plan to live this life out the way He's wanting you to live it out. Those are important steps to get there. So that would be what I would really recommend for anyone who is coming to me, saying, "Hey, help me, I need help." Those would be the pieces I would use.
Oh my goodness. So much meat there, so much meat. And in this day and time, again, coming from a heart of service, these are the foundational pieces that we need. I just, it's like the holistic approach that you use is so refreshing, because it's one thing to say, hey, I provide this program for you. Let me just give you a course where you're going to watch some videos and then send you on your way and say, okay, you're good. No, what happens when we need our hand held a little bit? What happens when we need a little nudge? What happens when we need some affirmation, some confirmation, some tough love, some whatever it is we need in that moment? What happens at that time? Because at this point in our lives, we need not just information, but we need implementation and relationship. And
Absolutely.
so that is so key at this time. So I really want to commend you, just to give you your flowers now, to tell you thank you on behalf of all the other women that are experiencing you and the impact that you have, the gifts that God has really poured into you that you're now pouring out into the world, but also the women that are coming.
Mm,
Because at the end of the day, these are the things that really make our communities better. This is the Bible talks about every joint supplies, and I love to see when everyone finds their joint in that body, in his body, to be able to supply what's needed to the next person.
absolutely.
So absolutely amazing. How can we get in touch with you?
So I am on Facebook and Instagram. I am at The Real ShaNae. And I also, my website is www.tspprocess.com. That's tspprocess.com. I would love to connect with you, all your audience. I think this would be a great opportunity just to chat and get some more detail about who you are. I know God has called you to greatness. I know that He's called you to be abundantly more. I know that He has plans for you for hope and a future. So I would love to connect just to chat and see where you are and see how I can serve you. That's what my goal is to serve.
I love that. And for those that are not really sure, I'm just not sure if this is right for me. I'm not really sure if this is what I should be doing. Give us just really quickly a couple of, what does it look like for someone who needs your services but they're just not really sure? Like, what does their life look like? Maybe there's some stress, maybe there's some overwhelm, some
Mm,
frustration, or maybe there's some, I'd love to manage my weight, or I'd
mm.
love to, get my finances in order. What does it look like for me to need your services?
Typically, what I see, and I don't say typical, but there's nothing typical about each and every one of us. And what I see is they're in transition. They're trying to figure out where their next step is. They are wanting clarity of maybe their purpose. They've heard everything, they've researched where they could, but they don't have the clarity. Or they feel like they have the beginnings of it and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to walk in it. I see women who are trying to lose weight, get their finances together, get their mental health all at once. And that's overwhelming them. They're running in circles. Those are the things that I feel like I see a lot of women do, because as I mentioned before, we have so many hats. And for us, it feels like we have to do them all at once and all by ourselves, but we don't. We have the opportunity to be with other like-minded women, to have those resources, to be pulled up, to be connected, to just be spoken life over, to just, we need those, we need that connection. So if you are a woman who is in a place where you're in transition, you're frustrated, you've tried so many things, you're running in circles, things keeping you up at night are not understanding your purpose, or your finances are overwhelming you, this is the circle to be in. This is an important place. This is where God is calling you to be. The thing I will say is, get in prayer, because He's going to lead you to where you need to be. And a
Mm.
lot of times that is right in the last place that He called you to, and He's going to lead you in a way that is going to be specifically for you. And I think that we think that this great, like, we have to hear this loud voice. Sometimes it's just a pressing, it's just a nudging. It's just, hey, this podcast resonated with me. I need to connect with this person and see where I can go next, right? So I would just challenge you to be in a space of being open to listening to the calling that God has for you, being open to being connected with other women, being open to letting go of what we think it should look like, and rest assured, rest in Him that He has it all taken care of, and He provides services like these in order to get you moving. So that's what I
Yeah,
was.
absolutely. And one thing that came to mind when you were speaking, ShaNae, is that, you're really for the woman who has run out of Google searches
Hmm.
and YouTube videos, and now needs that one to one accountability, hand holding. Limit, go ahead and fall. You're
Hmm.
falling on a safe space.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
And I
I
was
have,
that woman. I was that woman. That's how I
yeah,
know what you need. That's how I know
yeah,
where you've been. I was there. I was personal development, workshops, YouTube, Bible studies, church things, all the things. And I was like, this is not enough. I need more. I need more. And that's where God called me. He's like, yeah, you do, but so do these other women, and you need to build that. So
wow. And to
mhm.
speak from that experience of having done all of those things and still thirsty, but then to finally get to the one who allows you to thirst no more. Oh
Come
my
on,
goodness.
come on. Yes,
Wow.
the living water.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. It's so powerful to be in His presence. It's so powerful to be confident in Him and
Yeah.
know that he's a resting place. He's going to take care of your needs. And
Hmm.
so that is the goal, is to get us all there, to get
Yeah.
us all there in a space where we can be in a place of understanding, of assurance, of peaceful rest, to know that he's going to take care of us.
Absolutely, 100%. So, ShaNae, this has really been awesome and just inspiring. So, ladies, please feel free to reach out to ShaNae. We'll have all of her contact information in the show notes. Do not delay. Do not hold back. Do not stay in that place of being stuck. Do not
Mm,
stay in that place of not knowing. Do not stay in that place of confusion, frustration, overwhelm. Do not stay in that place of stagnation.
mm-mm. No, no,
Do
no, you
not
don't
do
need
it.
to. You
Yeah,
don't need to. It's not where we're called to be. So, absolutely. I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. I feel very strongly about what I do, and I think that's an important piece of pouring into the women that I work with.
absolutely. Any last words of wisdom for us, ShaNae?
The biggest takeaway for me in my journey, and I hope to convey this to all the ladies who watch, is know whose you are so you can know who you are. And that is the biggest piece that it really helped me to understand. My relationship with God is the foundational piece for me. It is what drives me, it is what keeps me going. He has 100 out of 100 track record. He has never
Mm,
failed me, and he never will. And so I was just really, really, really tell you to pour into that, lean into what he's called you, lean into who he's created, and that he doesn't fail, he doesn't mess up. He is so faithful. That's me.
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. So, folks, this has been another amazing episode of Go Be Great with Coach Karena. And we have had the amazing, the real ShaNae Walker on the show. And I am just super thrilled. So, please feel free to reach out to ShaNae. And I will see you all on the flip side. Bye for now.
Bye.